Hello, everyone, and welcome to my No Bells and Whistles short series podcast coming to you unedited and raw. The aim of all my podcasts is to bring you awareness and empower you. Hopefully, it also brings you joy, peace, harmony, growth, and insight, and maybe make you laugh. My name is Obi Grace Nneka, also known as OGN. I'm an author, public speaker, publisher, mother, and so on. And you're listening to episode 5 of Perspective with OGN. Now, this episode is about scammers and scamming, and I will be covering or looking at the letter that I received recently from someone who doesn't recognize that I do know that this is a scamming letter. Now, I don't know if you've ever received a letter from a scammer, a phone call, and so on. In fact, I get so much phone calls that I have now so many phone numbers blocked. In fact, it's like every time I block a number, they get a new number and then call me on it. And then I block that one and then they get a new number. Thankfully, I have an app on my phone which I'm not sure if I'm allowed to mention the name, but I've put it on my phone, and what it does is it tells me when a phone call is from a scammer, and then I'll be able to avoid the call. So now, one of the original scamming method was, since the internet, was to send people emails telling them that they have this amount of money and they need somebody to help them withdraw that money and possibly share it with them. So I've received these letters in the past, but I haven't got that in a very long time. So I got one recently, and I thought I'd like to share the letter with you. So I'm going to read the letter. I will take off the names that have been put in there, just in case it happens to be true, but I don't believe it's true anyway. But for security reasons, I'm going to take out the name of the person and just use abbreviations. So let's get into it. So I received this email on my podcast email, which I've put out for people to send me requests or tell me about their comments or share their stories that they want me to put on my podcast. And the person obviously have figured that this is a female and decided to use a female name. So I'm going to abbreviate the name from now on as Mrs. Aisha A-Q. So Aisha A-Q, and I'm not going to say the rest of the name. Now, I received this email on the 23rd of June. So let me read the email to you. Dear friend, please, can I trust you? Please bear with me. I'm writing this letter to you with tears and sorrow from my heart. I am Aisha M.G. Now, the person has changed their name, which is quite interesting, from the original name that they've put in the beginning of the letter, which is Mrs. Aisha A-Q, to now Aisha M-G. That's very funny. So anyway, let me continue. So I am Aisha M-G, the only daughter of the embattled president of Libya, Honorable M-G. I know my email might come to you as a surprise because you don't know me. Yes, of course, I don't know you. But due to the unsolicited nature of my situation here in refugee camp, and they've put the place as somewhere in Burkina Faso, I decided to contact you for help. I've passed through pains and sorrowful moments since the death of my father. At the same time, my family is the target of Western nations led by NATO. Really? Okay. So, again, where was I again? So, my family is the target of Western nations led by NATO who want to destroy my father at all costs. Now, this is quite funny. Just bear this in mind. Who want to destroy my father at all costs. I'm going to bring this up later. Okay, so now our investments and bank accounts in several countries are their targets to freeze. My father of blessed memory deposited the sum of $27.5 million in a bank at Burkina Faso, which he used my name as the next of kin. So, blessed memory is implying that the person's passed away. So I don't understand why NATO would be targeting someone who is already passed away. But let's continue with the letter. I've been commissioned by the BOA Bank to present an interested foreign investor partner who can stand as my trustee and receive the fund in his account for a possible investment in his country due to my refugee status here in Burkina Faso. Now, the funny thing is the bank wants you to present a male. You've just written to a female is a female because you keep saying your sister. But anyway, moving on. I am in search of an honest and reliable person who will help me and stand as my trustee so that I will present him to the bank for the transfer of the fund to his bank account overseas. So you want to transfer a huge sum of money to a complete stranger you don't know, and that money would be transferred overseas. You might not even be able to get to this place because, according to you, you are in, quote, refugee camp. So that doesn't make any kind of sense. But I would continue with the email. So I'm in search of an honest and reliable person who will help me and stand in as my trustee so that I will present him to the bank for the transfer of the fund to his bank account overseas. I have chosen to contact you after my prayers, and I believe that you will not betray my trust, but rather take me as your own sister or daughter. If this transaction interests you, you don't have to disclose it to anybody because of what is going on with my entire family. Now you're saying don't disclose it with anybody. This is a way to gain your trust, but also to push you to not disclose what's going on with anybody who might possibly alert you to the fact that this is a scam. So this is an emotional scam also. So moving on, if this transaction interests you and you don't have to disclose it to anybody because of what is going on with my entire family. I don't know your entire family. I don't even know your family. So I don't know how me disclosing it to maybe my family would now get to your own family. But moving on, if the United Nations happens to know this account, they will freeze it as they freezed others. So please keep this transaction only to yourself until we finalize it. Now, if NATO already knows about certain accounts of your family, there is no way and you're saying is all these foreign countries coming after your family. There's no way they wouldn't know about this account. So that's another lie here. Then the person's put down, sorry for my pictures. I will enclose it in my next mail and more about me when I hear from you. Funny enough, there's no pictures in this. I don't know why they're apologizing for pictures. And then they're going to include more pictures. Anyway, it's signed, yours sincerely, best regard, Aisha G. So now I've got 3 different names here. Aisha G, Aisha M-G, Aisha A-Q. So there's so much error in this email, so many things. But the thing is, one of the ways that they trick you is to mention a huge sum of money. And then if you're someone who is greedy, or if you're someone who is in a tight fix, or someone who is struggling financially so badly that you want an out, a way for you to, come out of this rut that you're in. It's so easy to become easily manipulated and then become involved in the scam without knowing that you're being scammed. Now, the second thing the person has done is to get you emotionally invested by telling you that their whole family is now being targeted. Now, your whole family is being targeted, but you don't want me to tell other people because you don't want your family to know what's going on. Then that doesn't make any sense. Is your family targeting you, or is it the nations targeting your father, who also, you've now said, is also dead? That doesn't make any sense. But then, if you're not paying attention, if you don't recognize initially that this is a scam, you will start being drawn into this web of lies, and you start feeling that you need to protect this person, and then you start writing to them. You might, if you're someone who's greedy, you might say, oh, I'm going to write to them. When the money gets into my account, then, I'm going to keep all of it. Or if you're someone who is, honest, but also want to help the person and hoping that you might get something out of it, you then write to them to say, fine, I would love to help you. I'm so sorry about what is going on. I would like to help you. Then you get suckered in. So that's stage one. Then the stage two possibly would then be to tell you more stupid stories and then tell you about how you need to send some money, or they want to do something, but they need the money, but you would get your own share when the money has been transferred into your account. And again, because now you're now in the rabbit hole, you're not thinking straight, you send them a huge amount of money. You send that first money, they thank you. Then they will tell you one cockamania story where you will send another amount of money. And then gradually, the story is no longer about NATO looking for them, or the family wanting to take part of the money, or the money being in accounts and so on. It now becomes about telling you more stories that keeps pulling you into this rabbit hole, and you're no longer remembering about the initial thing. And you keep sending money, and then before you know it, you're so far down into the rabbit hole that you're so ashamed you can't even tell anyone. So please, 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 if you're out there, be very careful. If you receive this sort of mail, be very careful. Now this person is saying, don't let anybody know about it. But I'm very sure you sent this email to so many different people. You've spread your web hoping to figure out which fly you're going to catch. If you want this to be something that nobody else knows, well, why would you tell me all this personal information when you don't even know who I am? You don't even know if I work for NATO that you're talking about. You don't even know if I'm related, if I know somebody in your family. But you've given me this information. That's because this person is a liar. They're not telling the truth. So be very, very careful. I'm looking forward to hearing about, your own personal experiences. You can email me send me an email on it is podcast.ognokafor@yahoo.com. Or you can leave a comment below, and I would love to hear what you think about this, or if you've experienced it, or if you've seen some of the documentaries on television and so now are aware of it, or if you know somebody that it's happened to that you want to share their story with us. So thank you so much, and have a great day. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. Take care. Bye.